Afternoon. How are we all doing? Afternoon, Steve, Diamond, Crom, Andrew. How are we doing? Another day, another dollar. What have we got up here? Oh, yeah. Results. How are we doing? Afternoon, Alex, Brian. Hola. Hola. No Pablo Español. Joaquin, good afternoon. John. Right, let's have a quick look at what's happened today so far after the DAX's hideous morning. Shocked to death if you were trading the 5-minute pre. If you're trading the 5-minute opening range breakout, though, you did all right. Wasn't great this morning. That's all we managed to get. That was pretty much a 1-to-1. So a lot today. Pretty crap. So that's the DAX pushed up, but we are out at new highs now. So the DAX is out the top of its range. So, oh, what did I just do there? I'll stop. Oh, so let's cancel that. One sec. So yeah, DAX is basically pushed out the highs now. We are proper out the top. So be interesting to see where we go from here with the DAX. We're out in new territory, so we'll see what happens. But yeah, good push, and it's holding as well, which is good. Morning, Neo. Morning, Baggy. Afternoon, even. Stefan. AGBARVR. Hideous is right. Right, so let's have a quick look at this morning. So these are the set files running the market reversal alerts EA strategies. So 0.4% banked this morning on the ADR reversals. 0.26 banked yesterday. 1.75 DD. New Zealand dollar yen is the main one. It's only got 3 positions on those, so not old, and it is coming down. New Zealand dollar yen. I was just having a look at that before I came on. It's just starting to roll over. So we just had the reversal alert on M5 on that one. So possibly just starting to roll over with some yen strength. H1M5 banked 0.11% today. Woohoo! 0.22 loss yesterday, sitting in 2.25. New Zealand dollar yen, again, the main culprit. H4M5 sitting in 3.9. US dollar yen this time is the culprit. It's the yen. We have banked 1% pretty much today, though. So 2% drawdown control over the last 2 days. Got 1% of that back today. So just waiting for some movement on the H4 strategies. We've kind of pushed and then paused a little bit on all of the H4s. Hedging on the hourly time frame. 9% drawdown. 0.62 bank today. 22% on the month. US dollar yen again. It's the same old faces. Euro US dollar. Quite a few euros which are getting close, just around about the 1% mark. So we're waiting on all of these euros at the minute to find some strength. So every euro pair after the rate announcement has dropped. Yeah, it's just struggling to find its legs at the minute, the euro. It's not doing bad, though. This week we've kind of plateaued. So hopefully we'll get some strength coming through. We've had no news this week on the euro to really rally it at all. So it's been at the mercy of everything else. Euro US dollar got out of this morning. That was the H1M5 mean reversion up to there. Straight into resistance. Look at that for a 3-bar reversal. Push, pause, pull. Straight turnaround. So that is the results. News. We didn't have any this morning. We had the retail sales for the CAD. Didn't do a lot. Core retail month on month was better than they expected. They were expecting a drop. They got it. Wasn't quite as big as they thought it was. So if you look at the Canadian dollar this morning, no real movement to write home about at all. A little bit of a rally on the euro against the CAD. Same with the Aussie, but nothing much. Look at the ADR. Just missed it there. So that's news this morning. Main news this afternoon is Powell at 4 p.m. So this is 1.5 hours after the market opened. So see what happens today. We might get something out of Powell this afternoon. So if it is something substantial that is said, we might get a big, strong move and some ADRs off the US. So we'll see what happens. This morning, unscheduled news. Not really anything there either. So, yeah. A little bit quiet today. Very quiet, in fact. We did have Lagarde speaking this morning. Oh, yeah, and this Bank of America came out as well. The biggest pain trade in the next 12 months is the Fed fund rate at 6%, not 3%. Quite sure what that actually means, but Lagarde speaking this morning, ECB still needs to have sustainably high interest rates in the Eurozone. So again, it's all bullish. We are going to raise interest rates. We are happy. We're going up. We're not worried about it. Everything's good for the euro. Just for some reason, it's not getting any legs at the minute. So we will see. NJ still ripping? Yeah, still pushing. It's coming down now, though. So we've had the 5-minute reversal. 15-minute, you're going to get, hopefully, shortly. But, yeah, still going. So this is day 5 now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Day 5, straight up, climb up the stairs, all down the elevator shaft. Very typical yen, this is. Yen goes weak for days and days, and then it suddenly goes, they fancy that, and it undoes everything in 24 hours. It does it all the time. So just waiting. That's why people don't trade the yen a lot of the time. It's weird. It's a weird instrument, the yen, because you get people that trade it non-stop. They literally focus on nothing but the yen, like the pound yen. A load of people trade pound yen, and that's all they trade exclusively. Then you get a lot of other traders don't like it at all, won't touch it. It's too, doesn't act like everything else. And it's true, it doesn't. But if we're getting in small, doesn't really matter, does it? A few ADR alerts, but not got entries triggered. So ADRs, we'll have a look at those in a sec. Market's about to open. So Dow, oh my God. Right. So Dow's putting in a big pre-market candle. Got 46 seconds to the open. And it's just undone the last like 2 hours. What's going on here? So big strong push down on the Dow. We just had Foot Locker's shares drop after big earnings miss. They're not part of the Dow. Maybe some company in the Dow is a manufacturer for Foot Locker, possibly. There's no other news, so don't know what that is. So yeah, big drop there. So Dow this morning or this afternoon, depending where you are. There's your 5-minute, your 15-minute pre-market. It's off. Wow, straight out the lows. So you got your highs up here from last week. We're mucking around these monthlies as well, these monthly levels, and last week's low. So we're really stuck at the minute on the Dow. Could go anywhere today. We've got this massive propulsion gap on the hourly to the downside to come and retest, which it looks like we're on our way to sort out now. We've got this one down here as well, but that's beyond ADR. So you're going to need 125 ADR to get all the way down there. Upwards, you're well within an ADR, but it looks like it wants to go short at the moment. So potential long up into there, failing that up into ADR and that propulsion gap. It's really tricky. There's targets to the downside, there's targets to the upside. There's no bias really either way. There never is on it, but there's no reason for it to go one way or the other. It can go wherever the hell it likes. Where we are right now, we are bang in the middle of this range. 50%. Flip a coin. Could go anywhere, couldn't it? So at the moment, though, the pre-market 5/15 is virtually the same, and it's short. So watch these lows, which are your Globex lows here. So this is the Globex session low. See if we get any kind of reaction off of the bottom of that. If not, pretty much down to this level down here, which I've got drawn on, which I have no idea what it is. Just a horizontal line I've drawn. Why did I draw that? Just an older line for some reason. Get rid of that. So, yeah. There we go. We're testing Globex now. If this breaks, previous day's high, which is tested twice yesterday and failed, is going to be your bounce point up to there. Your weekly high last week. See where we go. But we are getting it bought up at the lows again. So they basically, algorithms bought the lows, bought them, bought them, bought them, buying them again. Does not want to go through that level, does it? So it might be a good spot to jump in long. Stop loss under there. Very tight, high risk reward trade if you wanted to take it as a mean reversion. But if it does break, obviously it's going to come down hard. Big pick. What about the DAX? DAX is rallying like a loony at the moment. No idea why. Virginia, afternoon. Stevie, afternoon. So watch this level. So that is that level. Algorithmic trades to the pip. Algorithms buying up that exact low from Globex. So the DAX we looked at this morning, that level, that old level, from all the way, that's US 30. DAX, we looked at that level here, from all the way back there. Whoops. See it, can you? There we go. This level here. This is that old 2021 high. We came into it today. Absolutely perfect. Straight into it. And bounced off. So rallied up into that level. Came back up. Trying so hard to get through there. Every time we hit that level, the limit orders are triggering. Sellers are very interested in not letting this go higher at the moment. So if this DAX starts to tumble from here, we will probably see the US indices follow it. So watch this level. But if it breaks this level, we're in clear air. We haven't been in for years and years and years. So DAX could go anywhere it wants. This is new highs from a long time ago. So tricky open today. Your pre-market is really hitting the brakes as well. DAX is just trying to retest those highs. Look, 6 pips away from having another go. We might get a pop out the top, in which case this will probably turn and flee the other way. So we watch this. We've got 10 seconds left. So this is your 5-minute opening range. Break to the downside today, I would say, is probably going to be a fast flush if it does it, because it's the fourth attempt at this level now. If it gets through it this time, there's nothing to stop it. Straight down. However, if this holds, we're probably just going to see it bounce around and off we go to the north. See where we go. Right. So watch that for the opening range break. If you're trained in the 5-minute, definitely looking like a short at the minute, isn't it? Right. So ADRs, Euro Yen. So Euro Yen, just about to get your first reversal alert on that one. So that's come straight off ADR. There's your ADR high. Straight into it, bounced off, come out the support rectangle, pushing back again. So again, this is somebody asked in the Telegram group the other day about how the mechanics of the market reversal alerts indicator work and why they work the way they do. And this is a really, really good example of why the indicator works the way it does. So the indicator draws the support rectangle on the last down candle before a new high is made. So the theory is that we have buyers and sellers in the market. This was the last batch of sellers that tried to drive the market short. They wouldn't make any more progress. The buyers outdid them, made a new high. So this is where the buyers started the move off the back of the last selling attempt. Yeah. This is why the support rectangle goes there. And this is why you find the market bounces out of the support rectangle. because this works the same as a propulsion gap. You get an accumulation, a break. When we try and break back down, the buyers that made that move defend the area and push the price back up again. It's the same theory. We have the sellers here. The buyers went, nope, we're going long. They went long. They came back. And the buyers said, no, we're going long. Yeah, and they'll keep doing that. And this support rectangle will keep holding until there are enough sellers in the market to take back control and break that level. That's the reversal alert, the structure break. Yeah. That's a really good example of why that candle is what is used to draw the rectangle and what the structure break works on. That's the last up candle before the low. As we break that, the buyers take control. Yeah. So UJ, just about to get your first one. It's flying at the moment, this yen. Basically nothing can really rally the yen at all, so everything's driving against it. So it's an ADR reversal. It's also coming up towards H1. We've already had an H1 on this, just about at the 75 level, just about, but didn't trigger it. So we've broken out the highs, 2 propulsion gap targets to the upside. So if this ADR doesn't hold, 175 ADR, previous monthly level, would be a second entry on that. You've got pound New Zealand as well. Oh, wrong one. Dow, I was just going to say, Dow looks like it's just about to attempt the low, but it isn't. Hasn't made it. Are we going to get the same as this morning? Inside bar, inside bar, inside bar, inside bar. Half an hour of inside bar. Bear it again. New Zealand, pound New Zealand. ADR hit straight off of ADR. We were looking at this one. No, this isn't the one we were looking at this morning. We were looking at the Euro New Zealand. Or was it the pound New Zealand? Yeah, no, it was the pound New Zealand. Yeah. So we were looking at this one at this low here. No, it wasn't this one. It was the Euro New Zealand. Yeah, it's Euro New Zealand. We were looking at this one for the monthly, weekly, 2 week ago level. So this whole zone here, we were saying this is an amazing buy opportunity. Pound New Zealand looks fairly similar. So we've had the ADR hit today. The 5-minute reversal alert trigger was there. You can see that I'm in here. So we had a reversal alert here. And then it invalidated that low, just about put a new low in, came straight up and reversed again. And there's your W pattern. Since then, we haven't gone anywhere. So that's a good potential long opportunity as well. Again, very nice extension on the hourly. So this is an H1 M5 mean reversion entry and an ADR reversal entry, both. We also have New Zealand CAD, New Zealand Swiss. All these New Zealands have gone nuts today. So New Zealand CAD off the highs. M5 reversal alert has just triggered. So you're just getting in on a potential short there off the ADR reversal. New Zealand Swiss, same thing. We had the reversal alert there. So that was a beautiful one. Look, straight up into ADR, rejection off of ADR, retest. So there's your M pattern. But again, we haven't gone anywhere yet on it. And we've got New Zealand dollar, US dollar. Again, hit to the high. So you had, no, you didn't get a reversal alert there. So this is the first reversal alert today on New Zealand dollar, US dollar, which is just triggered off of ADR. So there's your ADRs. Weekly ranges, there's quite a few weeklies here. It's Friday. You're a bit late on them, but yeah, all looking good. So there's all your ADRs. RSIs, there's a few of those to look at. Let's just go back to the Dow for a minute. It's doing it again, look. This is this morning all over again, isn't it? So no movement. So 10-minute candle is an inside bar of the 5. 15-minute candle so far. We're only 2 minutes into it or a minute into it, but it's an inside bar of the 10-minute and the 5-minute. Market's really weird today at the open. Really weird. Anyway, is what it is. So bear with a sec. Okay. So yeah, so no movement on the Dow. on the Dow this afternoon. NASDAQ, choppy old mess as well. So NASDAQ's broken high. Just about, though. Doesn't look like it's got any strength whatsoever. So that's your pre-market 5 again on the NASDAQ there. So this is your break of the pre-market 5 opening range, 5/15. So that's just gone long, whereas obviously the Dow went short. Again, total opposites. But your 5-minute opening range break is also to the upside. That's a 1-to-1R so far. Financial Juice just asking me to refresh. Right. So we are rejecting these Globex lows by the looks of things on the Dow. So it might go high. NASDAQ is. So watch that. Might want to flip long on it. Right, RSIs. So there's quite a few RSI extensions, very much the same as what we were looking at this morning, except there's a few yens crept in there now. So Aussie dollar yen, H1, that is extended now to the upside, just at the 70 level, not quite got to the 75 yet. Good levels we're coming up to here. So this is your monthly, that's last month's, previous month's high. Scroll out so we can see it. So that is your previous month's high. We tapped into that area multiple times. We rejected it so far week before last. We've just broken last week's high. So we're coming back up into that last month's high and the previous week's high again for a potential drop, just getting extended. We've also got this level here, which you can't see again because my big head's in the way. Up here, we got this level as well, which is about 125, 150 ADR roughly. So if this doesn't hold, we don't get the reversal from there, up there is going to look like a good limit order area as well, where we might get some kind of reaction. So at the moment, you can see we've got divergence on the RSI as well. So it is all bearish divergence, big extension. So just waiting for a short on it. But we have had a profit take on the initial move here already. So this this push, profit take, push, profit take, push. We're waiting for one. So it might just be a small pullback. So I'd wait for an ADR. It's too early for me to get into this one anyway. But it's also extended on the 4-hour. So it's a 4-hour mean reversion. So the H4M5 or H4M15 set file, if you're running that will be getting you into this one on that move. So opportunity for shorts there. Let's do all the yens while we're talking about the yens, because they're all pretty much the same setup. CAD yen 4-hour RSI extension. This is embedded now on the 4-hour. So big strong move. This hasn't gone anywhere. Look, it's just had no movement to the downside at all. Hardly even flagged. Tiny little flags on the way up. So it's really, really, really bullish at the moment. So the bigger the bullish move, the bigger the snapback comes. So we are really extended. The elastic band is fully stretched on this at the moment. If we get any more movement to the upside above that 80 level, without doing a profit take move, we are really going to get a big, strong rejection back down again. So looking at levels on the CAD yen, we've not really got much to look at on this, as you can see. So we're up in no man's land at the moment. We've got this level coming up here, which is potentially a good area, but that's sort of up 175 ADR and failing that all the way back up to the top there. So very tricky one to pick a rejection point on it. There isn't really one. So CAD yen, but it's just extended on RSI, so good opportunity for a mean reversion. We've got the Swiss yen, same thing. That's coming up to a nice previous week's high resistance. Again, very nice orderly push up to there. So looking for some kind of drop to the downside. It is a bullish pair at the moment, and we are expecting the euro to power up, which will drive that further. But obviously the yen will just power up at any point when it wants to. So we're just waiting for a profit take move on this. Not the best kind of incline on this. If you see, it's just come up from the low RSI to the high RSI, it's been very, very, very orderly, just very, very, very strong. So potential drop to the downside on that one at some point. What other yens have we got? New Zealand yen and US yen. So US yen, that one started to move. This was an H1 extension. So on your 4 hour, it's just started to roll over. Got an M pattern going in at the moment. Again, no pullback whatsoever on that. Got a fib on here. Looking for a 38 to a 50 retracement on this. We should get a very decent pullback on this one. It's been going really strong for a long time now. So good opportunity for shorts. Already got 2 on that, which is on the H1 rather than H4, but it's extended on H4 still. New Zealand dollar yen, extended 4 hour RSI extension, 3 positions on that now. Average is well within an ADR, so easy to get out of. It's extended above the 80, so looking for that. It's exactly the same trade as this, look, basically. This one only took 2 positions, but we've taken 3 on this one now. Got 1 there, 1 there. So as soon as we get that profit take move in, we'll be out of that New Zealand yen. But at the moment, not stopping. But the New Zealand will stop at some point. It will just have a rest. It always does. So just waiting for it to happen, really. Waiting for the pullback to start. But if you're not in it, it's extended on the hourly. It's extended on the 4 hourly. You've just had your reversal alert on it. So right now, just this beautiful M pattern reversal going in. Looks really, really weak. Is this strength in the yen? It looks like yen strength. It's across the board. It's starting to rally down. Swissie's not. So that means we've got a strong Swiss franc at the moment. Potentially a strong euro then. No, that's just Swiss franc. Odd Swiss. Yeah, Swiss franc's powering up at the moment, so they're putting some money into the Swiss franc. So those are your yens. The other extensions we've got, which are not yen based, are New Zealand dollar Swiss on the 4 hour. So again, nice level coming up on this one. We're at the 72 moving average. So this is your quarterly moving average. Last time we bounced off there. Quite often we do bounce off the quarterlies. So anywhere in the 72-24 zone when we are in a trend is where you would expect new legs to start from. This is also previous week's high. So again, nice level. ADR hit today. We've already looked at it. It's ADR. It's H4 RSI extension. So good looking short opportunity. 15-minute reversal alert is going to kick in a minute. The 5 you've just had. So that's coming down nicely. New Zealand CAD is extended on the hourly RSI. So that's just got over the 70 level. Potential drop back down into these levels here and into these propulsion gaps. We have got this one at the high though to come up and test. So we might get a bit of a further movement on that. We'll see, but good looking opportunity. Like those wicks. Very nice rejection at the highs there. So New Zealand dollar, CAD, pound New Zealand is also extended. We got an RSI extension to the downside. Got this on the hourly. So this was an H1 RSI extension. So got the 5-minute reversal alert on that one. This level here, which is the previous day's low and yesterday's low, will probably act as the most obvious resistance if we're going to go short still, if this is going to continue. I would expect the pound to power up though. We've got news starting to come in next week on the pound, so hopefully we'll get some movement to the upside on that one. But that's nicely extended at the moment, still on the 4 hour. You can see the support here. Again, back down to the 72, bounce straight off the 72, off that support. Failing that, monthly low is around about 250% of ADR. So couple of ADR to the downside if you need it. Euro New Zealand is the other extension. Other than that, it's Aussie New Zealand. So Euro New Zealand hourly and 4 hourly. So the 4 hourly Euro New Zealand, this is the one we looked at this morning. So this monthly low, this is last week's low. Just a really good spot to bounce from. So we put the fib on here this morning because we were looking at the bounce, which was a beautiful 50% retracement. But yeah, looking good. Like it. Nice extension. We're expecting euro strength based on interest rate increase, where New Zealand's got really nothing going for it at the moment. So yeah, good looking long opportunity. This is the last long that I had on it. As you can see, we got it extended and embedded, and then obviously it rallied. So then we flip short, long again. So looks like a good long. Should continue this rally. So obviously you can see we've got a very nice uptrend going on at the moment. Absolutely nothing's changed. No reason why the euro shouldn't continue to push. We've got interest rates increasing. So should all be bullish. So market structure, continuation to the upside. It may come down a bit further. You see here in the trend, we do drop down below the 72 sometimes. You can never tell. So that's extended on the hourly. We got beautiful wicks to the downside here. Look, loads of rejection going in here. There's lots of limit orders triggering down here. So they're buying up this low. Still a lot of selling pressure though. So looks good. So that's an RSI extension on the hourly as well. And the 4 hourly, and Aussie New Zealand is your other one. We've just broken the 5-minute opening range on the Dow, pushing up into propulsion. So we'll see if this high is going to hold. We're stuck between a rock and a hard place here at the moment. So big rejection down at the Globex low. If this is going to have another run at it, this is where you'd be looking for shorts. If this is the low, obviously we're off out the highs. Aussie New Zealand, that's a nice extension on the 4 hour. Again, nice divergence on this one. So it's not actually, no, it's not. Forget that. It is kind of, it's sort of flattish, but not proper divergence. It should be bullish down there. So nice support area. This is a monthly low, last month's low. This is previous week's low. Yeah, no, last week's low. And nice rejection. Nice hammer going in. Buyers stepping in. Push up. Hourly RSI extension. Hourly propulsion gap target to the upside is here. Got lots of little ones up there, and then there's one big one up there. So this one, we are looking potentially at a continuation short. So at the moment, however, it looks like we're sort of potentially contracting a bit. Maybe. So, but looks like a good double bottom bounce anyway. So if you want to get into that one, that's H4, M5. Should be on that one, I think, already. When you're ready. Not on it yet, Aussie New Zealand. So not quite on H4 yet. Has had an was it extended? Yeah, no, you see the reversal happened before the candle close on the H4, so didn't get the trade entry on that one. But that looks good for an entry if you want to take it. So that's it. So that's your RSIs and your ADRs. All covered. So there's quite a few opportunities, but a lot of the stuff we're already in from previous entries, mainly New Zealand dollar yen. This thing is hopefully going to have a little bit of a rest, but absolutely flying at the minute. Seems to be pausing at the moment. Hopefully we just don't get a flag on it. But we'll see. We are up at ADR, so good chance we're going to have a little bit of a rest here. Whether it's going to come down today, I doubt it will come down today. But as I said, this afternoon, 4 o'clock, Powell. Who knows? You could well shake the market right up this afternoon. So we'll see what happens. Afternoon, Franco. Morning, afternoon, etc. UJ, Andrew. I think I just covered UJ, haven't I? On, yeah, just covered UJ on 4 hour. That's 4 hour RSI extension. To the upside, got 2 trades on it based on the hourly. So that was the hourly entry. That was your first one. Second entry's gone in yesterday. Still rallying though. This yen's really weak at the minute. Not able to get any traction. But we'll be waiting for a short on that. Nice move. There's just no profit take. So literally just a flag. Pretty much it. This is potentially a second flag. So if it does do another leg, that's fine. It will be utterly exhausted by the time it gets up there and will come down. V hard. Stefan, New Zealand dollar yen, maybe it rise up until next Tuesday because of datas on Wednesday. So let's have a look at next week's news. Bank holiday in Canada on Monday. So we got busy week, FOMC week next week. So yeah, busy week next week. So we got the PMIs for Europe all coming out on Monday, and for the UK and for the US. So all the PMIs on Monday. So that's your it's basically related to CPI. So it's kind of inflationary data. We've got the New Zealand dollar rate on Wednesday morning at 3 a.m. It's 5.25 current. We haven't got a forecast as yet, so we'll see what happens. The press conference is at 4. Sorry. So yeah, big moves on New Zealand next week. This is the market factoring in interest rate rise. So I'm not quite sure what the forecast is for the New Zealand. So we are currently sitting at 5.25 alongside the US. I would be surprised if they increase it. We'll see what they do from there. But their inflation figure is coming down at a decent rate. Their unemployment isn't bad and it's not going up. So it does take the pressure off. So this is increased to control that and that. That is coming down and that isn't going anywhere. So there is no pressure really to increase interest rates above 5.25. I would imagine they'll probably want to stay behind the US as well. So I would suspect we might have a continuation of the rally for the New Zealand going into next week, or at least maybe stabilize and just go sideways for a couple of days next week, Monday, Tuesday. But yeah, could well be what we're waiting for. We got the CPI inflation figures for the pound next week as well. God, if they go up again. Bailey is speaking twice. Oh dear. And then we got FOMC meeting minutes on Wednesday. That'll be a whipsaw. GDP and unemployment claims for the US dollar, and then PCE on Friday. So Wednesday. Tuesday and Wednesday is the big days next week. So Monday's probably going to be fairly quiet. Won't get a lot of movement. Dow is rejecting the propulsion gap. So we're basically inside bar on 5 minute. Let's see what the NASDAQ's done. Nothing much. Dud. Not good today. Market's really not interested today, is it? Same as this morning. For some reason, we just lost our momentum today on the indices. They're not interested in rallying or dumping after yesterday's big move on the DAX. So very, very lame price action today. NASDAQ looks like it wants to go short now. I have to say, it does look like a short. Everything looks like a short on the indices. They've had a good 2-day rally. Had a really late night sleeping last night. So been one of those days today. Watching paint dry. Dow's starting to come down. So yeah, I do like it. We've got 2 nice accumulation areas to target here. If you look at this on the hourly on the NASDAQ, we put in 2 big propulsion targets. So some kind of test if we're going to continue the rally high, I think. Load up on your aircraft. Yeah, no, that's not until the when it's 25th, wasn't it? The aircraft. Yeah, next Thursday, isn't it? You'd have to remind me of that, Brian, because I'm not watching the Feudal Crest calendar at the moment because I haven't got a funded account because I blew it this morning. Well, we blew the evaluation anyway. So yeah, You have to remind me when the aircraft news is. I just really want to watch it. I want to watch what happens because they think it's a big news event. So I'll hold my hands up. If the market goes mental when the military spending without the aircraft figure comes out, fair play. If it doesn't, I think somebody needs to email them and say, are you having a bubble bath? It's just not news, is it, really? Let's face it. Anyway, that's all I've got for you today. It is Friday afternoon, notoriously quiet markets Friday afternoon. A lot of the time, banks all go for a pint, and we don't tend to get an awful lot of movement unless there's some news. So we're sitting around waiting basically for Powell. Aussie dollar CAD ADR, he says, just as everything goes mental and hits ADR. Canadian dollar looks to be dropping, or is that the Aussie powering up? Canadian dollar dropping. What's oil up to? Oil's tanking. So CAD's tanking. Any word if it was the spreads that got your account? No, it wasn't the spreads that got my account. Feudal Crest don't reset. I get confused. There's one rule with prop firms that is different on each, and that is the trailing drawdown. So I haven't actually looked into it, but some firms, someone posted something about this in the group as well. They had something they were talking to chat in one of the prop firms with, but some prop firms, when you move up your P&L, your unrealized P&L, yeah, when it goes higher, they trail your stop, your daily drawdown from that level. And so let's say you run up by $2,000, yeah, and you've got a $5,000 drawdown. If you run up by 2,000, that $5,000 drawdown also runs up with you. So it's 5,000 from the highest point of the day. Now, if this pulls back down to here and you don't take that profit, your actual daily drawdown is only available at 3,000, not 5,000. Some prop firms do that. Other prop firms call it in the morning, whatever your balance is $5,000 from that. Some firms call it in the morning and go, whatever your open equity is, it's $5,000 from that. You've really got to check this rule because it's different with every firm. There's only 3 ways they do it, and it's one of those 3. I think with Feudal Crest, I had 4.97% logged in my account yesterday. I don't think it reset. I think I had literally 0.03 to play with, which is why that first trade, after that first trade, I couldn't place any more pending orders. That was it. And it's logged me at 5.03 as being the realized drawdown on the account. So although it reset, I don't think that's how it works. So I can't be asked to argue with them. I've gone off Feudal Crest a little bit. I love the 2-for-1 offers, but I can't bear trading manually. And I hate the fact that they don't give you much margin on the indices. I'm just going to stick with my Forex funds. I just wish they did offers. They don't. Which is annoying, but anyway. A 2-for-1 is only good if you can pass the evaluation. I've got too much going on to concentrate on too many accounts at once. Martin, have a great weekend, Lee, and everyone watching. Are you off? Bye. I will be going in a minute if nobody's got anything else I want to look at, but it's going to be one of those afternoons, I think. Dollar budget debt talks sucking air out the markets. Yeah, it probably is, Franco, to be honest. The latest Fear and Greed, has that come out? It's not out yet. But the latest Fear and Greed we had yesterday was greed. I don't think that's going to last. I think we're going to go very, very quickly into fear. So I think this needle is going to drop dramatically over the next week or so, which will be due to basically the US dollar having a little bit of a wobble. So we've really got to keep an eye on the US dollar news. But Tamo, welcome back. Sorry you haven't been around. That's okay. You're allowed. It's a free world. You don't have to watch me. And I do have replays available, so you can watch me anytime you like. Steve, gold. Let me find gold for you. There it is. I haven't used my my Lambo for a while. Oh, wrong one. Playing Star Trek. Gold. Well, I'm not. That's just the launcher. So gold's stuck at the moment. Well, it's not stuck. It's kind of unstuck itself on the US dollar strength. So this is last month. Last month's range was really tight, as you can see. Big, strong month, then a really small contracted month. We've just broken out the lows on the US dollar strength off the back of the unemployment figures. So in theory, this could continue to come down, but that's going to mean US dollar strength. Where we are at the moment, I'd much rather fancy a bounce off of last month's low next week. But we will see what happens. I think you're going to find the debt crisis is what's going to cause this to rally or drop, and it's going to be based on what the US dollar does. From what I'm seeing on the indices, i.e. a lot of strength, I would say we're entering back into bull market territory on the stock indices, which means negative US, which means positive gold. However, we have just had more restrictions put on the Russian exports by the UK, and there are other countries that haven't got a gold export ban on Russia yet, which might implicate it. So we may have constricted supply problems again with gold, because Russia's got lots of it. So we've now said we're not going to buy any diamonds from Russia either. So we're just basically strangling them financially. All other countries are doing exactly the same. Most other countries, obviously. So if we do get more of that happening, then we're probably going to find more supply-demand issues, which will drive the price up. But it's dependent on that. And that is a big question mark, the US dollar at the minute. We think it's probably going to start to be bearish because it's hit its interest rate max. Inflation is starting to come down. Unemployment is coming down. It's all going the right way, which takes the pressure off of interest rates, which means negative US, potentially. And if they default on their debts, people aren't going to want to have their money in it. So that's going to rally the gold market. So we are in a bull market for gold. This is a really good spot for buying it, I think. But yeah, look at the 4-hour RSI extension. Look. This is why I don't trade this thing. Doesn't like RSI, just it ignores it. It's supply demand driven, same as oil. It's supply demand driven. So it doesn't care about the relative strength. The strength is in the commodity. The relative strength, the RSI indicator, measures the relative strength of the instruments. This is really its own thing, isn't it? The commodity. So it doesn't work the same, which is why I eliminated it. Brian, real quick, when ADR resets for the next day, if you're in a trade, do you consider previous day's ADR for additional entries, or just use the current day? So I just use the current day. If ADR is hit on the following day, when ADR resets the next day, you're in a trade, do you consider previous day's ADR? No. So one of the reasons, and again, people have asked for, can you not have all the previous days RSIs on the chart? Yes, you could. Obviously, you can do anything with an indicator, but what happened yesterday doesn't mean anything. So what the ADR levels were yesterday are irrelevant. Yeah, this measures the average. What's going on my phone? The average daily movement of the instrument. We're looking for intraday extensions, and we're looking for where it could possibly go as its maxes today. What its maxes were yesterday and where it could have possibly gone yesterday don't make any difference. So if you get into a trade on an ADR reversal yesterday, you're in a trade. It's either going to go long and you're going to get out, or it's going to go against you and going to turn it into a position. If you turn it into a position, exactly the same rules apply. You go with a movement away from you to scale in on strength. Doesn't matter if it's an ADR, an RSI, or whatever it is. It doesn't have to be anything. It's just get in and get in again until you can get out. So yesterday's have got nothing to do with it. It doesn't mean anything, so don't need it. You haven't got it, and that's one of the reasons the indicator removes yesterday, because it it's just going to clutter your chart, and it's going to make you have too many lines all over the place, which just don't mean anything. It's mess. You just need to keep this hard right edge as clean as possible. We're looking at the hard right edge for where we're likely to head to and where we're likely to bounce from. Support resistance levels and propulsion targets and ADR levels. We know how far it moves roughly in a day. Concentrate on where it's moved today, not where it was yesterday. Yeah, don't have it. I'm just building an ADR EA. Well, I'm building I'm rebuilding. I'm building a new EA basically, which is based on everything. It's like the market reverse alerts EA, but I'm trying to build a really optimized, fast version of it. I'm struggling because there's so much in it. I'm trying to strip everything out that I don't want. And ADR is part of that. And I've plotted ADR historically, just so that I could see movement on ADR. And it just doesn't make any difference. It's got nothing to do with yesterday's ADR levels. Support resistance, yes. But previous ADRs doesn't add anything at all. It does, you do find quite often, you will find support resistance levels at previous ADR levels, but that's more of a coincidence than anything else because there's so many ADR levels. It becomes more like a pivot if you leave it in place, and pivots are just awful. Waiting for a pivot trader to shoot me down now. Is Powell still going to have his job after today? That's a good question, Marion. Maybe that's what he's coming on to talk about. Maybe this is Powell's resignation speech at 4 o'clock. What is it? What is he talking about? Let's have a look. Perspectives on monetary policy at the Thomas Laubach Research Conference in Washington. I don't think he's going to say much, to be honest. Perspectives on monetary policy. Maybe. I mean, perspective on monetary policy is his thoughts on whether interest rates are going to change this year, I'd imagine. So you never know. He could drop a bomb and say, in light of so-and-so, there is a possibility we may increase them. We're off. Don't know. We'll have to wait and see. Certainly the markets seem to be hanging around, don't they? So at the moment, the markets are hanging around waiting for something, certainly. So we may well be waiting for Powell at 4. So we ain't going anywhere, are we? Not interested at all. DAX is pushing higher again. Look, nice ORB from this morning. You wouldn't have taken all that profit. You'd have been stopped out before now, but very nice move on the DAX. Very nice indeed. Yeah, can't stand too many lines. Yeah, if you, clean charts, clean as you can. Within reason. Obviously, you do need stuff to tell you where stuff is likely to happen, but Yelling is in the basement running out of ink to print money. What a political financial mess. Yes. I love the way they say it's the first time that the US will have ever defaulted on its responsibilities, blah, 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 blah. Yeah, that's because all you do is you just print more money. Every time you think you're going to get into trouble, you print more money, which makes you worse. Then you print more money and it makes it worse. Look at what happened in Japan. Japan's in a massive problem. All it keeps doing is pumping money into its own currency and buying its own currency, which makes it poorer and poorer and poorer. There's a certain point you're going to get to where you just suddenly go, oh, this is worthless. And everything's going to fly through the ceiling against the yen unless they sort it out. They need to increase their interest rates. They're not. They're just, some countries, I just don't get it. And the US is one of the leading, it's the big currency. It's the US. Everything's done in the US. And yet they seem to be allowed to cock it up quite a lot, don't they? Every time there's a banking crisis, a housing crisis, or any kind of crisis in anything to do with finances, it all starts in the US and they pass it all along to us. everybody else. So yeah, I don't know. Nothing you can do. We like it though, because if that does that or that, it means it's an opportunity to make money. So I like a volatile market. A volatile market is good because you can't make money if the market is flat. Look at the DAX this morning. Yeah. No way of making money in there. You need it to go. If it doesn't go anywhere, you don't make money. So volatility is good. It's our friend. News is our friend. Just need to know when it's coming out. And ideally, which way it's going to go. And there lies the problem. Right, so that's it today. 3:20. I'm off to watch the Fast and the Furious 10 in about an hour. So I'll be back on Monday. Just keep in mind anything you've got US-wise. If you've got profit on the table, you might want to just maybe protect. I don't think he's going to say much, to be honest. So I think you'll be okay, but you never know. They do drop the bomb every now and again. Opening range high is there. That's holding that 5-minute OR high. It's just not going anywhere today, the Dow. So if I was you, I'd go and do something else. Right, so I'll be back Friday. No, I won't. Monday at 7:50 for the London session. Be back 2:20 for New York on Monday as well. News-wise, obviously, just bear in mind there's nothing much over the weekend. It's a bank holiday in Canada on Monday, and there's no scheduled news either. So there's nothing to worry about over the weekend. Where's all the New Zealand dollar strength coming from? I don't know. They're buying into next week's interest rate release at the moment. So don't forget the market factors in before the news release what the news is going to be. And then when we get what the news is going to be, you get the retracement. Yeah, so this is just them buying into a potential interest rate rise on the New Zealand by the looks of things. If we don't get it and we get as expected, this is going to come collapsing back down again. So wouldn't worry about it. Just the push. If they do interest rate rise, though, we might find we get a big squeeze on our hands with New Zealand. So yeah, have a good weekend. Anything you need, I'll be in a Telegram over the weekend as usual. Yeah, I'll be back Monday, same times as normal. Until then, have a good weekend and I will see you then.